because the homicide rate continues to gallop like a horse in full stride, and this gesture is intended to just raise awareness of the need for people to seek to resolve their differences in more peaceful ways. So, traditional colours for Waterhouse. They're kicking from north to south. Cavalier kicking in the opposite direction. And Waterhouse get us on the way in this third game of match week 2 in this Jamaica Premier League. Early touch for the two Thomas brothers, Denardo and Ricardo. King, fresh from national duties with Jamaica's senior reggae boys. Outstanding young man. Will be 21 years old on November 27. Already a Premier League champion. Starting player for the Premier League champion, Richard King. Very impressive young man, and you could say the same thing about any young player, well, any player on this Cavalier team. They're all youngsters, and I'm so proud of what they've done, and totally unaffiliated with the Cavalier Football Club family. But when you see good things working out, you have to applaud it. Early foul there on Courtney Allen. Here he's once again Allen inside the box. The cross was aimed in the direction of Dwayne Atkinson, but the broad-chested Elvis Wilson there to tidy up. First corner of the game goes to Cavalier. They're in no particular hurry to take it. Kenroy Campbell now just breaks out into a jog. There's Rudolph Speed, the technical director, and the man who has stuck with this project even when the team was relegated and he was being laughed out of town by everyone who told him that, yeah, we told you that you won't win anything with kids, you won't survive. He came back with kids, and the kids are Premier League champions. Campbell's corner, put it away near post, firm header there.
And Rudolph has worked in the junior programs for years. You think about his time with Mona, his time also at Wolmer's Boys. So very used to dealing with youngsters, and I think that's important as well. Knows how to relate to them to get the best out of them. And obviously the management from Cavalier, they've had a vision, and it's paying off.
Marcel Gale has taken Waterhouse to the front gate of the Promised Land, but has had some difficulty breaking the gate down. Well, he's tried to open it the conventional way, then has tried to break it down, still can't enter. Told me he has a plan, he's gonna get there. Here comes Waterhouse though through. First touch for Cardell Benbow. He was bright and inventive in that first game, but he misplaces his first pass. All the way in the back for Leng to King. Topi now, the defenders just exchanging touches. And a hospital pass played there. Kyle Ming gets the kick in the shin. Down for the moment, the Cavalier captain.
Sold him short there, Topi. And that pass was never on. It didn't really favour Ming. I'm not sure why he tried to force it. Jamoy Topi.
Ming, beg your pardon, limps to the position to take this throw. Back to the beanpole centre half, Jamoy Topi. Topi once again. Cavalier very patient. Not a high-octane start, not as high-octane as we saw them start against Arnett Gardens, where they really flew out of the traps under the hot sun. Paid a price for it because they slowed in the second half. Measuring their approach today.
And what I would like about the Cavalier backline, very versatile players. You think of all of these youngsters, they've played in central roles as well as wide roles, especially at the youth level. Ming himself played as a central midfielder, has played as a centre back. He's now playing as a right back. Topi as well as at schoolboy level, and even for the Jamaica youth team, plays centrally as well as has played right back as well. So very good to see the versatility. Good ball handlers, all of them. And Giovanni Leng as well at Camperdown. You remember him playing in central regions as well as left back or right back. So it's good to see two-footed players as well.
Yes, you are. Yes, you're right. Rough housing there. Benbow penalised, tracking back and stopping the advance of Kenroy Campbell.
Well, once again, it's Cavaliers throw. And it doesn't look like they're interested in taking it.
Free kick because Benbow actually fouled him. Yeah. Benbow started on the left of the attack against Arnett Gardens, Chris. So what he was doing was going outside the winger on the dribble. He's playing on the right side, so his intention, his instructions perhaps are to cut in on the left foot and shoot. Yeah.
I'm sure throughout the game you'll see some form of rotation as well, but we'll wait and see.
Campbell and Leng. Atkinson. Nice change of pace, leaving Cockings on the ground. The goal is gaping, and Courtney Allen misses it. Oh my word! Dwayne Atkinson, just a little change of pace and sent Malik Cockings, left him sprawled on the turf. This is the moment, just a little change of pace there. Cockings slips, and Atkinson finds a pass to Allen. The goal gaping, and Allen somehow misses the target.
That's an unbelievable miss by Allen. And we spoke about the pace and the skill of Dwayne Atkinson, and there we saw it. Great change of pace, good skill as well. And Allen. As I said, well, the man born in Manchester. Unbelievable miss.
Wow.
By the Cavalier number 9. Well, we have one for the misses of the season.
We have a couple already, I can tell you that. Alric Otti from Mobile United has a candidate for one from the first game of the season against the same Waterhouse team. And you can add Courtney Allen. Allen's maybe even more difficult. Otti's ball was bouncing and the breeze was very strong. I think Allen's miss is worse than that one.
That means Waterhouse have strong prayers.
There you go. Anyway, Topi's lining up this free kick. A 3-man wall. He's going to go for a direct pop at goal. And very unconvincing effort by goalkeeper Kemar Fossey. He just shuffled it around the post for a corner. I'm wondering if he couldn't have caught that.
Didn't get low at all. No real footwork to it, Foster. But I guess thwarted the danger.
Good for Topi though to at least get that on target. And my keeper has to take that, Chris. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but he didn't get low enough. That's why he couldn't take it. Didn't bend the knees at all, Foster. It looked cumbersome, but he got the job done.
Campbell again with this corner. Cavalier opening up the heart of the Waterhouse defense once. They feel they can do that multiple times over the course of this game. 5 white shirts within 12 yards of Foster's goal. They're all lumped 12 yards in. Free kick comes down to the back post, and Foster got something on it. It's a corner kick on the other side. Good goalkeeping there.
Well, got the feet moving on that occasion. Foster did well, good footwork, skipping to the back post, and got a strong hand. Good cricketer as well, Kemar Foster, in his school days at Innswood. So, got there well.
Vital touch, because that was destined for the forehead of Jamal Topi, who scored in that opening game win over Arnett Gardens. Here comes the corner from to the back post once again. Shot from distance by English, and the offside call. Well, no, the ball crashed off the underside of the bar. Leng, point blank range once again. I thought the flag had gone up for offside, but no. And another great chance missed by Cavalier. Leng's effort way more difficult than Allen's, but it was off the left foot, and he found the underside of the crossbar. Wow, 2 big chances for Cavalier, both of them missed.
And this is not a surface that you could blame the bounce. It's a very true surface here at the Horace Burrell Centre, and I mean, two bad misses. You have to say Leng as a left back, maybe he's not expected to convert in the same way as Allen, but 2 reasonably empty goal opportunities. Look at this. It wasn't a bad bounce by any means, George. Got more of the heel instead of the full side of the foot.
What I'll say is this: as Topi gets some treatment, we're seeing another replay of it here. I'll say it was a defender's finish. You know, sometimes you say that was a striker's tackle. Yeah, that was a defender's finish. But still, Leng is a quality player, the young man Giovanni. You expect him to finish a chance like that.
And does score. It's not as if he's adverse to scoring, Leng.
Yes.
So unfortunate. And he's 2-footed, so it wouldn't be abnormal for him to use a left foot.
But it was on the strong foot because
yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
So there you make it. The more things we say, the worse the miss seems. Anyway, this ball played through. James chasing, but Jadine White collects. A spectator thus far, Jadine White. Standing inside the 18-yard box, working on his stand. Unbothered because all the action has been done the opposite side of the pitch. Here's Allen now. Waterhouse at 6s and 7s. Cavalier, the dominant team early. And 2 glorious chances missed by the boys in black and white. King taking his time about it. Doesn't like what he sees up front, so he goes across to his central defensive partner, Topi. He returns the favor. King surveys the landscape once again, uses Leng in this left back position. Topi. Leng. In a lot of space. Benbo comes to engage. The ball played inside, the header goes up. And the steaming in was Courtney Allen. That ball missed him, and then Ricardo Thomas able to clean up. And the goalkeeper Foster, not a happy man for the Waterhouse team so far. Not satisfied with the quality of his team's defending, believing that coordinated Cavalier attack too easy. Howell to Thomas, forward to Thomas into space now. Early cross whipped in, and Benbo steals in behind Leng. Leng had to be very alert there because Benbo stealthy, just closing him down, almost tippy-toeing, trying not to make a sound. But the defender was alert enough to turn it behind for the corner, taking short, taking quickly. This is Beadle, can't beat Allen though. Well, come on, Campbell was back for Cavalier that time. This is Howell. Waterhouse looking to play themselves into this game. They've been second best so far. Denardo Thomas to his bro, Ricardo Thomas. Well, his bro would be his friend, right? So it's his brother. There you go. This is Andre Leslie. Can't get around Kyle Ming English. Wanted Allen to sprint into the channel. Allen didn't want to run there, and English turns away disgusted because Allen caused him to waste the pass. He believes. Denardo Thomas has some time in midfield. Rose to his brother Ricardo on the far side, but the pass is overhit. Throw to Cavalier in the 13th minute. This could easily have been a score of Cavalier 2, Waterhouse 0. And will the defending champions rule missing those 2 chances? If you're gonna get 2 chances to score, you'd want those 2 relatively easy. People say forget the relative, George. They were easy chances, point blank range, only the goalkeeper to beat under no pressure. And speaking of pressure, a lot of pressure exerted by Nikachi Murray and Andre Leslie, beg your pardon, as he drove at the heart of the Cavalier midfield, and he has won a free kick for Waterhouse in a promising position. Good strength by Leslie, determined by Murray not to let his man get away, fouling him in the end.
Boy, doctor. Yeah, I like it.
Benbo taking an interest in this one.
No, too much. Yeah.
Jadine White has a 4-man wall as his first layer of protection. Benbo looks as if he's going to have a direct pop at goal. Benbo comes up, really blasts it, but rising all the time, non-threatening in the end.
Yeah, not the greatest strike by Benbo. And can't really see where the plan was.
Yeah, no attempt to
didn't really look to go, since he was using the instep, didn't really look to go around the wall and bend it. Since he was going to use the outside of his boot, why not go on the outside of the wall to then get it into the far corner? Just want to see sometimes a little bit more imagination going into these dead ball attempts.
Yeah. White took a long time over that goal kick. Very unhurried as a team, Cavalier, this afternoon, and that tactic has paid dividends because they've carved out 2 very good openings with this patient approach.
Yeah.
Pity they haven't taken them. Murray plays it back into a dangerous space. Good turn by Topi under pressure. And now Ming goes long to Webster. Webster's feint. Lets it run through to Allen. Cocking's back there to defend competently. Howell in midfield, the captain for Waterhouse, trying to get them moving. The Andres exchange passes. Leslie to Fletcher. Benbow now doesn't have an overlapping run just yet. Beadle gives it to him now, but Benbow almost gets into the way of the overlapping run. Benbow with a cross with the right foot to the back post. Topi watched it all the way, and then Ming finished with the clearance, and they were helped out by Webster in the end. Still alive though for Waterhouse.
Not sure how many aerial duels Waterhouse will win.
Denardo Thomas from range. Similar story to Benbow's free kick.
Yeah. I actually think Waterhouse should be looking to play it along the carpet. You have the likes of King, Topi, and Ming in your back line. Leng is not short either.
They won't win any headers there.
They won't be winning many aerial duels. On the carpet is where Waterhouse need to do the business. And clearly from their shooting, they need a lower trajectory as well.
For sure, my friend. Again, JD Noy taking a long time over this goal kick. A deliberate strategy by Cavalier to play it slow, it would seem. English wins it in midfield. Gives it away though. Howell under pressure. Uses Denardo Thomas. Ricardo gives him the overlapping run and gets the pass. Early cross into the box. Javon James takes it into the chest and he goes down. A goal! Easy as you please. Andre Fletcher steals in. And the ball fell loose inside the box. Strong play by Javon James. He took it on the chest initially, but he couldn't find his footing to sweep it goalwards. But Fletcher was there, Leslie was there, beg your pardon, to do the job, to get it done. It's 1-1.
Good finish by Leslie. First of the season for him. And you'd have to say against the run of play, especially considering that Cavalier were the ones on the front foot and scrappy defending. Leng weak in the challenge. And good awareness, you must say, by Andre Leslie.
Actually, it was Leng's tackle that put the ball into the path of Leslie to sweep home.
Didn't have enough help, Leng, when he went down, as you said.
It's against the run of play though, because the Cavalier team had the best chances. I think I said 1-1. It's 1-0. It should be probably 2-1. Whatever happens, the Cavalier should be on the board, and that's the point of it. But they aren't. I've played better.
So it's actually Andre Fletcher, with a finish, and scored from the penalty spot in last week's encounter.
I was about to say to you that he has 2 for the season now.
Yeah. There he is, Fletcher.
Let's see if Cavalier dispense with the slow build-up that they've been employing. Don't see why they would, because they've created 2 good chances from it. It's just that the chances haven't been taken.
2 empty goals.
2 empty goals. Well, the goalkeeper was there, but I take the point you're making. They didn't take theirs. The first one Waterhouse created, they took. And that's the nature of football. Thomas clearing his lines. The cries of relax from the Waterhouse bench, attending to that play. Here's Brian English for Cavalier to Ming, who trod on the ball just at the important point when he was going to contemplate the cross. Back to English, all the way back to Topi. Every outfield player for Cavalier inside the Waterhouse half, and he's appealing for a handball, Topi, but he won't get it. Was saying that it came off Javon James's arm, but Odette Hamilton not buying into that. So last time they met in the final, of course, Cavalier went in front, held that lead for a long time.
Jamoy Topi, who is on the ball now, was a scorer on that occasion.
Yep.
In fact, the last 2 times they met, well, they met twice last season, both after regulation time. They were all square. 1-1 in the final. They then went to penalties eventually, and it was 2-2 in the early season. And it was actually a brace scored by Damian Binns on that occasion, who is not here. He scored in both encounters, so, and he's missing in action, as you said earlier, due to injury.
Yep.
And Dwayne Atkinson scored a brace in that 2-2 draw. He's on the field today. We haven't seen much of him.
Beadle. Saying he committed no foul. Courtney Allen was upended. And this is the challenge. Very soft. Yeah, very soft. Anyway, Campbell lines up this free kick for Cavalier. They have work to do. And if it stays like this, Woodall Speed, their technical director, won't be a happy man, because he'll say, well, how can we have created those chances and then find ourselves down at the break? Doesn't make sense, gentlemen, but there's a lot of time between this point and then. Allen's shot at goal directly at Foster. Well positioned, the goalkeeper. Easy take.
And that was Webster in the end. Ronaldo Webster with a left foot. Talented youngster, Ronaldo Webster. Remember him in schoolboy football, playing for St. Elizabeth Technical. Scored over 20 goals that season, and then moved on in sixth form to Wolmer's Boys and had a very good season there the following year. Scored, I think, some 15 goals. And certainly a very dangerous play in this Premier League. The Cavalier number 7. There he is. Very talented left foot.
Howell switches the play for Beadle. Benbow. Beadle on the overlap. The cross should come from him now. Whips it to the back post. Bernardo Thomas missed it. Allen. Back with Waterhouse though. Murray, the human barrier there, as Leslie, his effort blocked. Murray just feeling the air, may have the ball ricocheted upwards, struck him on the air, but he's fine. Here they come once again. Waterhouse, they have the lead. Leng muscles Benbow out, illegally so though, says Odette Hamilton. Benbow, ooh, there's an injury with the arm there, maybe. Yeah, that looks like a dislocated shoulder, perhaps.
We know what that is like.
Oh yes sir, you can tell. Yeah, it looks like that.
Yes, you can see it's actually out of position there. Right here with landed awkwardly. Yeah, the angle of the landing.
Yeah. Well, what is true is that he can pop it right back in and play for the rest of the game, but he'll have to be very careful of duels where he's pushing off on that side, because any weight that he has to bear on that side will cause it to pop right out again.
Well, that's if it's not a first-time injury, then he will be able to probably get it back in. If it's a first-time injury, he probably won't be able to continue.
What I'm saying to you, that the only way you can pop it back in is if it's not a first-time injury.
Exactly. Yes. If it's the first it has ever come out well, he's going to need some treatment.
He looks fine. He's walking and he's fine. All right, good. All right, so this is what Cavalier have done so far in this first half. These are the misses. This is the reason that their water break team talk is perhaps not going so over well. This is the corner kick. Well, the play by Atkins, just a turn of pace to leave the defender, and he finds Allen, who clears the crossbar amazingly from point blank range, not even engaging the keeper to make a save. And then this one from Leng, point blank range once again, and the young left back finds the underside of the crossbar.
Screams of despair. And if you listen to the interview with David Layla at the start of the game, he spoke about Cavalier needed to take their chances more, and looking to convert better, and there's examples of that not happening.
Yeah.
It's been a struggle for them.
Yep. Tactically, they haven't done much wrong, to be fair. And so perhaps it is that Speed will just use the water break to reinforce the need to be calm in front of goal, to do what you train to do every day, because to score a goal, it's not something foreign that we're asking you to do. It's not something that you've never done before in your life, any of you out there in the outfield.
That man Dwayne Atkinson scored 2 the last time these guys met in the regular season. It was a 2-2 draw. This same venue last season. Atkinson with a brace, Binns with a brace, and then they met in the final, 1-1 on that occasion. That occasion it was Topi who found the back of the net for Cavalier. So Atkinson, this is a fixture that he does enjoy, and it was actually he who created that opportunity for Allen.
Yep.
That should have been buried.
Could have had an assist to his name, should have had an assist to his name.
There's Topi.
Yep.
The man who scored last in the fixture.
Topi may feel that Leng's challenge on James for the Waterhouse goal was a bit weak. Yeah. But then Leng will say, well, I did my job because I knocked the ball away, but it just so happens
a teammate wasn't close by.
There you go. Anyway, Beadle has this free kick from the foul on Benbow, which preceded the water break. Elvis Wilson runs up late to join the attack for Waterhouse. Beadle's free kick swung in. Back post, harmless. And Ming completes the clearance. Benbow back on the park. And looking no worse for that injury he had just now. Thomas. Cleared by Atkinson. Wilson. Unconvincing clearance. Fights back to window. Here's Howell. Waterhouse now dictating play. Ricardo Thomas down the flank, chased by Webster. Goes for step over routine, the young left back, robbed. Very good play by Webster, and Thomas runs back, as every good fullback will do when losing a duel, and tackles back, commits the foul, but halts the transition crucially. Jadine White not really taking as long to restart the play as he did previously, but they still have it at the back, Cavalier, and just pressed by James. James is the lone man pressing for Cavalier. Goes across the press, Topi now, who launches it long. Atkinson's flick. Allen chasing, but Wilson is there. Wilson's clearance trapped by Webster. Webster robbed by the covering Denardo Thomas. Benbow, look how deep he's gone to collect. Ricardo Thomas sends it forward. King, Murray, Cavalier looking for the equalizer. Atkinson worked it onto the left foot. Webster was in space, but he ignored him. And here comes Cavalier once again. Waterhouse, beg your pardon. Beadle forward, asking James to chase. James is in, but King just leans on him at the vital moment, and even so, Jadine White has closed the space and was able to gather easily, but he took a knock in the process, the Cavalier goalkeeper, it seems. And just favouring the left shin, as we see a replay here. Too far forward for James, and he did leave something in. Jadine White has gone down now, he needs treatment.
Always a favourite, Jadine White. Reggae Boy representative as well, Jadine White. Number 2 in line behind Andre Blake in the national setup.
Yeah, ahead of Amal Knight.
Yeah.
So we're in the 29th minute, almost 30 minutes in, and of what you've seen from them so far, would you say that the scoreline is reflective of what we've seen? Or we're talking about teams taking their chances. Playing football is about taking your chances. So would you say the scoreline is about right, or are Waterhouse fortunate to be in front?
I think Cavalier certainly were on the front foot. I think Waterhouse has probably had the better of the last maybe 10 minutes or so, but I like the tempo that Cavalier actually started with. This is a moment that changed it all. There you see the challenge from Leng, and just didn't have the help. Didn't really make a full connection with the ball as well, but yeah, King not really aware enough to help out, and a goal for Fletcher, his second of the season. But yeah, Cavaliers certainly should have taken their chance. I like the tempo at which Cavaliers started the game. I think they have lost their way a bit with that. They have tried to slow down the game too much, which I doesn't think works in their favour, especially with their quick players and flank players. So I would like to see them increase the tempo. But as you said, you need to take your chances when you've gotten them, and they have certainly had two clear chances. Waterhouse, I wouldn't even say initially it was a chance. They just made the most of scrappy defending.
Yeah. Credit the Waterhouse build-up play though, Chris, because Thomas's cross was bang on target, because it did find James in a crowded 18-yard box. He was under challenge and it found him, and his first touch wasn't good, but he battled back to make it a bit messy for the defenders, and then Fletcher was able to come in and score.
Yeah. Apart from that, though, Waterhouse, I don't even know if they have gotten in the 18-yard box of Cavalier, whereas Cavaliers been in and around the 18-yard box quite often of Waterhouse. But as you said, taking your chances is what counts at the end of the day.
Beadle back to Foster. Foster's pass is picked up by Brian English, who can't get there before Howell. Ooh, the Andres. Leslie trying to find Fletcher, but the back heel didn't come off. Here's Campbell for Cavalier. Atkinson. Murray. Leng has time and space. Atkinson wants it urgently, but the tempo is slow on the pass. The pass game took too long to come. Still Atkinson. Leng.
Go for him! Pass on now!
Leslie back in defense, but his pass into the midfield was just overcooked. He was looking for his captain. Ball works its way back to the goalkeeper, Foster. Murray. Nice first touch. English. Webster. Doesn't have the forward pass he likes. Goes back to his captain, Ming, and collects it. Webster. Forward to Ming, but just too much on it. The space was there, the pass was on, but overcooked, overhit by Ronaldo Webster.
Even the wind factor, they have not adjusted well to that Cavalier. That's why there's a lot of overhit passes. They're actually playing with the wind, which means you need to alter the pace in which you pass the ball. And there you see, even along the turf, Webster guilty of that. Yeah, both teams just need to communicate better. I find a lot of that is missing. Hence you see teammates colliding with each other and so on. Just not enough communication happening there.
On that pass, Leonardo Thomas was telling Beadle, who was in the defensive third, that he expected that he would have been inside the Cavalier half, and Beadle was saying, well, man, I'm right behind you. You should have looked.
Yeah.
English. Topi. Chris Taylor wants Cavalier to increase the tempo at which they're passing the ball. Leng. Back to King. Surveys his options. Goes long, looking for Campbell, and finds him. Can he keep it in though? It's too long.
He should have kept that in actually. He saw it coming. It's not as if the ball was hit with a lot of pace, so he should have adjusted. It was hanging for a while. Waterhouse do a lot better when Cavalier slow down the game. They regroup very well, get behind the ball, and so when you actually play at a high tempo, they find they're out of position a lot, Waterhouse. So Cavalier obviously have not done enough homework.
Campbell, Allen, Wilson there to shut the door on that pass. Benbow, lovely first take and turn by Cardell Benbow in defense. Excellent from the ex-Mount Pleasant man, but his pass forward to James was intercepted. English. Oh, English and Ming, miscommunication and into touch. English and Webster, beg your pardon. English. Ming goes all the way back to his centre half, Topi, who will go back to his goalkeeper, who will play in his other centre half, Kyle Ming. Will bring Campbell into play. Leng was going and he stopped, and the ball was played where he should have been. Miscommunication, and Campbell apologizes.
It was quite obvious that Leng was never going to get there though, and Campbell forced the issue. Should have just held it up a little bit or looked the other way. And I think that's what Leng was trying to tell him. I could never have got there. Not even the great talents of Usain Bolt probably would have gotten there.
Leslie through Murray's legs, but can't beat Campbell though. Campbell standing firm. The pass is on outside, and Atkinson. Oh, Campbell apologizing for the second time. Never a good sign when players are apologizing left, right and center.
The passing has been poor thus far, neither to say the least.
Yeah, and Campbell's passing not been up to the required standard in the past few minutes. Anyway, Howell comes forward for Waterhouse, into space for Thomas, but met by Ming. 57% of the possession kept by Cavalier, but that's because, especially early in the game at the back, they were taking so long to move from defense into the midfield. So they kept the ball long in one place, in a non-threatening place.
Yeah.
Beadle forward. The cross comes in, and Topi right on point to block that. James was the man waiting for it to come across, as we see Thomas bowled over on that far side. And Ronaldo Webster tracking back. Those two have had a right old battle so far in this first half. And Webster fouling his Waterhouse man just now.
Yeah. A bit of a catch there from Webster. Knew he was going to be second best. Good turn here. Excellent turn. Great ball into the box. Nice pace, but as you said, Topi read it well. Had he got past him, they certainly would have been in business. Javon James was lurking.
Yeah. Good forward play by Leslie. Just felt the challenge, knew where the defender was, felt him there. Just an acceleration to free, give himself the room to make the cross. And it was low. Topi read well. 37th minute. Waterhouse in front, and Cavalier with the bulk of the possession. We know which statistic Rudolph Speed would want in his favour at this stage of the game. Good play by English. Murray now can change the point of attack. Goes to King and Leng. Leng has seen a lot of the ball in this first half for the boys in black and white. Murray has some space in the midfield. Atkinson's pass is cut out by Beadle, who's upset that he couldn't control that and keep it in play. Leng, Murray once again. All the way back to Topi. King, the Waterhouse frontman, not closing down the Cavalier men high, not pressing them high. The ball played forward, met by Cockings. There was a hint of a handball there where Leslie was concerned. The free set play on. This is Howell now, the captain for Waterhouse. Benbow in a left back position, plays it to the left back. Ricardo Thomas, who's further back than him.
We spoke about the fact that chances are Benbow would have switched sides as well, the rotation. He started on the right, now to the left. And very usual to see that, especially with the flank midfielders. So, giving other options.
Bernardo Thomas comes deep to collect. Back to Ricardo Thomas. Long ball looking for James. Topi has size. Favourite to take care of it, and he does well.
Waterhouse starting to control the game a lot better. And Cavalier, I don't think, still evaluating the game well enough. Tempo much too slow. And look at the high line now that Waterhouse has been able to employ.
Yep. And just allowing them to pass it amongst themselves at the back.
Correct.
This is Topi. Has
no movement
all day to pick a pass, but he doesn't see a pass that he likes. And the one that he liked, the ball runs through to Atkinson. But Ming had stopped running. Ming wasn't interested in that pass, and having an argument now with his number 10, Dwayne Atkinson, about what Atkinson decided to do with the ball in the end. Not pleased, the captain isn't.
I think Atkinson unusually didn't use his blinkers, didn't look to the left, because Leng and Campbell were free to the left hand side, and obviously didn't glance over his left shoulder, and hence he didn't see that. And I think that's what Ming also was pointing out, that change the play.
Elvis Wilson's pass is met by the head of Topi. Battle for it, and it breaks to Campbell. Big diagonal is available to him. Webster on the sprint. Ricardo Thomas. Webster gets there first. Two very, very quick men. Webster back to English. English under pressure. He turns it over to Benbow. Here come Waterhouse now. Denardo Thomas has some space in front of him. English trying to close that space. Thomas around one tackle, and Ming's tackle enough for him to lose his footing. She's going to go to her pocket, Odette Hamilton, because she felt the Cavalier man committed a foul in, as Waterhouse were in the transition phase trying to get to the 18-yard box. She books him. Agree with that, Cynical?
Yeah, I think that was certainly a yellow card. Very late. Nothing malicious from Ming, but certainly late. No way he was going to get to the ball. I was a bit surprised at first that she took so long to take out the yellow card. I said, well, Ming really got away with one.
Yep.
But not to be.
Elbow. The fourth official says there was an elbow by Brian English, and a man on the man writhing in agony.
It's going to be red.
Wow. The fourth, yeah, straight red card for Brian English. Absolutely certain the fourth official was that it was a red card offense, and he takes the short trip into the showers, Brian English.
Ridiculous. In the highlights from yesterday's game, we spoke about the ridiculous nature of the tackling there. When we saw Kevon Isaacs picking up 2 yellow cards in the first half. But just look at this. What?
It was actually a punch.
Yeah.
Punch to the right side, the left side of Ricardo Thomas's head. You're going to see it right here. So he swings up, and look at the hand comes down. Look at the Brian English's right hand. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem right there.
Why would you do that? What's the sense in that from English?
Cavalier have some problems.
Irresponsible. I mean, you haven't only let yourself down, you've let down your team now. You're down a goal. You've now caused. So the captain on a yellow as well. His team reduced to 10 men. Cavalier not managing the pressure very well at all.
Meanwhile, Foster, the Waterhouse goalkeeper, down, needing attention. A bit of a untidy end to this first half. Meanwhile, Ricardo Thomas still getting treatment over there on that far side. Slapped across the behind by Brian English, a frustrated Brian English. What was he frustrated about? Not quite sure. Meanwhile, Foster gets the hamstring stretched.
Started so brightly for Cavalier.
Yep.
As I said, 2 opportunities early. Tempo of the game really in their favour. And 1/2 chance for Waterhouse, not well dealt with by Cavalier. And Fletcher making it count. And since that, Waterhouse slowly but surely have taken over the management of the game. Cavalier have lost their way. They've dropped the tempo. They've now dropped the man.
And it's good that you zeroed in on the point about tempo, Chris, because we saw moments earlier. Topi had the ball just inside his own half, and he had it for about 20 seconds. Just he wasn't dribbling. He was just looking. What am I going to do with it? There was no movement in front of him.
No movement. Very static.
And crucially, the Waterhouse forwards didn't press him. They just allowed him to. Okay, well, we have the channels covered, the passes covered. What are you going to do with it?
And as a distributor, especially a midfielder, the worst thing you can see in front of you when you're looking to execute passes and utilize your vision is a static feel in front of you. No movement, no options.
Halftime not too far away, so Rudolph Speed can reset the tempo, reset the focus of this Cavalier team with 10 men in tough conditions. Very hot here at the UWJFF Captain Horace Burrell Centre of Excellence. And 1-0 down against a top quality team, one of the best teams in the league.
Well, they are the defending champions, so there would have been tough matches last season as well that they would have had to have overcome. So they'll need to find a way.
Wilson blast that into touch under no pressure.
Certainly don't think it's beyond them by any means.
Has to be a restart because Elliot Hamilton got into the way of Murray's pass to King.
Nick Murray there, as you see, the number 6.
Keen to see how much time is added on at the end of the 90. As if on cue, the fourth official raises the board. 5 minutes. We've had 5 minutes worth of stoppages in this first half. So we're going to play till minute 50. Allen shepherded by Wilson very well. Wilson, a substitute in the first game, came on and did very well. Strapping build, has some pace about him, rugged, and rewarded with a start by Marcel Gale this afternoon, especially in the absence of the defensive general Damien Binns. Howell. Beale gives him the call and gets possession. Ball into the box for Leslie. Leslie battling with King. Leslie still wins it. James! And then the goal! Waterhouse! Andre Fletcher, his second of the afternoon. That goal made by the enterprising forward play of Andre Leslie, who seemed to have chased a lost cause down. The ball wasn't the best to him, but he fought and grappled and just got a touch inside the 6-yard box. Javon James made himself a nuisance and the ball broke again. And Fletcher steaming in on it for 2-0. Waterhouse in front.
Really good strength yet again and determination by Leslie. And clinical finishing by Fletcher. His third of the season, Andre Fletcher. 1 from the spot, 2 in open play, 2 in this match. Excellent finishing, no chance. JD in white. Weak defending by Cavalier yet again. 6s and 7s, no communication at the back. And you'd have to say that the defense are showing their age.
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. So the 2 Andres and Javon James involved in that second goal for Waterhouse. Fletcher has his second on the afternoon. Joint leading scorer in the Premier League at this point with Warner Brown, the Tivoli Gardens striker, both men with 3 goals. So you see a dangerous pass played. Well, pass played to the back that King, beg your pardon, deals with efficiently, but he looks forlorn, Richard King, wondering what the hell his midfielders and colleagues are doing. Waterhouse scenting blood. Oh, the reverse pass was intended for Benbow, but King got one of those long legs in the way. And Javon James throwing himself about in the box commits the foul.
Well, Coach Speed is going to have to make a couple changes. Obviously, he's going to have to adjust his formation. There's no way you can continue with Webster, Atkinson and Allen up front. And he's a wing-back short. And those 3 men not known for their tackling ability either, so they won't be helping the midfielders much. So I think somebody will be sacrificed. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Allen.
Yeah, I was about to say that to you.
Yeah.
And he missed the game's outstanding chance first up very early in the contest.
He tried to wait, I think, Coach Speed until the halftime whistle, but I think it has cost him. It's cost him another goal.
Ling. Campbell has Atkinson to his outside. Campbell is going for the back post where Ronaldo Webster was tiptoeing in.
There's a deflection though, so.
Yeah. So Atkinson's corner. In the 49th minute.
Just look at the lackluster way that the Cavalier tall Cavalier players are getting into the box. They have to get back in this game. They should be rushing the box.
Atkinson's corner at the near post, met by Ling, and that's why it's a goal kick. Ling got his head to it but didn't steer it accurately enough.
Mistimed the jump. Ling, he actually got under it in the end. He hit the top of his head and went straight up in the air. He didn't get on top of the ball at all.
So Cavalier had the game's 2 outstanding chances and really invited Waterhouse into the game. An invitation.
What a different game that would have been.
Yeah, absolutely so. An invitation that the Jerusalem-based team took. And now they are the dominant ones in the contest. Dominant on the scoreboard with the 2-0 score. And of course they have their full complement. They have 11 men. Cavaliers short-handed. Brian English straight red card for a petulant slap on Ricardo Thomas as both of them tussled on that far side. Jadine White sends this one back with interest. And offside call. Atkinson was offside when he came back and challenged for that. Hence the free kick to Waterhouse. Wilson can take his time with this. Beadle calling to him on this near side. Wilson sends it long, looking for one of his strikers. Oh, it hits King on the head. Most comical there. And yeah, the whistle sounds for half-time in this opening game of a double-header here at the UWI-JFF Captain Horace Burrell Centre of Excellence on this Monday. Match week 2 of the Jamaica Premier League. Cavalier, self-inflicted position they find themselves in. They're under stress, they're under strife. A man down, 2 goals down. Waterhouse, the dominant team. The story could have been so much different if these Cavalier boys had taken their chances when the game was at 0-0. We'll send you away when we come back. We'll have highlights of the first half action. So 2 goals for Andre Fletcher, the difference between the teams at halftime in this Jamaica Premier League encounter here at the UWI-JFF Captain Horace Burrell Centre of Excellence. Waterhouse large and in charge and halfway towards getting some quick revenge for the defeat inflicted by them, inflicted upon them by Cavalier in the final of this competition in the inaugural season last year. Let's look back at the highlights, the big talking points from the first half. Atkinson just easing away from Cockings and finding Allen, who skies it unbelievably. And another chance. English's pass finds its way to Leng, unchallenged, The goalkeeper at his mercy finds the crossbar. Thomas's cross early. James's chest trap not the best. Under pressure from Ling. And then Andre Fletcher steams in for his second of the season. His first on the afternoon. Brilliant work by James to help him make it.
Composed finish by Fletcher as well. Just placed it between the legs of Jaden White in goal.
Yep.
And very important to be composed. That is what Cavalier lacked up front. Composure in the finish.
And then this moment, Brian English losing possession. Ricardo Thomas. And he probably didn't see it from that. But look at him with the hand across the face, the slap. It was a yellow card that Odette Hamilton wanted to produce first, but then she went to her back pocket after consulting with her fourth official, and English gets his marching orders. Meanwhile, Waterhouse march, and look at Leslie fighting, getting around King. James into the path of Fletcher for 2 on the afternoon for him, 2 for Waterhouse.
King is complaining, but he was using his hands instead of using his feet to tackle. Looking to push over Leslie, too strong for him. Excellent ball put in, very good finish again from Leslie.
Yeah, and the attacking Andre is getting me mixed up early in the game. Never mind, they got the Cavalier defenders mixed up as well, so I don't feel too badly about that. Waterhouse, 52% of the ball they controlled in the first half. There were 6 corners, 5 of them to Cavalier. There were 7 shots on target, 5 of them Cavalier had on target. 12 fouls, 7 committed by Cavalier. 1 yellow card, that one to Kyle Ming, and the 1 red card, a straight red card to Brian English for that slap on Ricardo Thomas. Alright, so what about last year's final? Cavalier and Waterhouse. As the shadows lengthened here at this venue, let's relive how Cavalier saw off Waterhouse's challenge in the inaugural JPL season to win the title.
Over the years, as clubs try to get more youngsters in the program, we'll get back to that discussion as we take a look at what took place in this game. And the Waterhouse, they had a few chances, and so too did Cavalier, who really bossed the possession in the first half.
Yeah, for sure. And he would get another chance again that he would miss, but yeah, for a point in this game, you felt.
And then the corner kick inside to Jamoy Topi, rising highest. Nash should have done better there, Dwight.
Most definitely, a goalkeeper, you expect him to get something onto that. You expect him to get a palm onto it or go, but totally missed it, and that goal was on him. And Topi, from 3 yards or less, couldn't miss.
And then the incident that quite possibly changed the game. Finlayson going into the referee's book initially for the challenge, and then he said something to the referee, and then after the yellow card would have received a straight red.
Yeah, Nation not hesitating to go to the back pocket there and brandish the red card, and Finlayson, for a player with the experience and the leader, very much disappointing and not acceptable.
Ball played to Chanel Thomas, who really should have hit the target there.
Yeah, that's the chance I was talking about that he would have gotten, and certainly should have hit the target.
Irving sending this one long, headed away. Webster was trying to get there, and it was pretty much cleared off the line. Waterhouse really defending their lines there.
Yeah, they had to. They were down to 10 players and they were desperate. And then the penalty.
Well, before the penalty, that shot on target, Jaden White had to pull off a fantastic save. Then he had to tip that one over the bar. And he was really into the thick of things here. And then the penalty coming off the arm of Kamoy Simpson. Referee pointing to the spot.
And this was a big pressure moment for Binns, and Cooley rolling it and sending Jaden White the wrong way.
Yep. That was the last kick of the game, you know. You take a look at Ramon Howell, who couldn't look on at the action, had to be looking away. It was so tight, right on the line. And the equalizer in stoppage time. As I said, the last kick of the game. They went through extra time without any goals. Then Binns couldn't repeat what he did in the 90.
Yeah, he went to the right of White, but not far away enough.
Then Cavalier had the advantage for the majority of that penalty shootout. Right up until they didn't. Len could have won it for Cavalier, and he was denied by Zimoy Nash.
That was a big save from Nash, but then White came up trumps and denied Kimani Campbell.
Yep. And so it was down to Jamar Purcell to win it for Cavalier. And he did. That was a convincing kick.
Very convincing. That hit the roof of the net, and that was always well.
Back here under the bright afternoon sun at the UWI JFF Captain Horace Morrell's Centre of Excellence, where Waterhouse are leading Cavalier 2-0 in this match week 2 encounter in the Jamaica Premier League. 2 goals for the man wearing number 15, Andre Fletcher, and Waterhouse may be already out of sight, especially given the fact that Cavalier are down to 10 men. Their midfield hardman Brian English given a straight red card for a petulant slap on Ricardo Thomas. So that's the tail of the tape, Chris, and Cavalier have it all to do from here.
Yes, certainly. And after being on the front foot in the early 10 minutes or so of the game, it's certainly been all Waterhouse, and Andre Fletcher, leading goal scorer for them this season, 3 on the season, joint leading goal scorer overall in the Premier League, and exciting for Waterhouse after 45 minutes. They took their chances, Cavalier didn't.
Yeah, this is the first one. Just a change of pace from Dwayne Atkins. It takes him away from Cockings. The ball centred to Courtney Allen, and how Courtney Allen missed that one, it should be an essay question by itself, and perhaps none of the answers will be satisfactory to the person doing the marking. The ball came to him, he had time, no pressure whatsoever, and he skied it. This was very early in the contest, and then English puts this one into the mixer, and look at Giovanni Leng on his stronger foot, and he can only find the underside of the crossbar from point blank range. Goalkeeper Foster very, very, very much happy to see it come off the underside of the crossbar at a point to Chris, when really he should have been picking it out of the back of his net.
Yeah, certainly, and as you can see, the attacking zones there, just 10% in the flank areas, and that was utilised early. 25% down the middle for Cavalier, but as you said, the tempo of the game is where they've got it all wrong. They started well with the tempo, getting Waterhouse out of position, the pace of young Atkinson on the wing, and really picking out Allen. There was a bit of a bubble, as you said, but nevertheless, Waterhouse taking their chances, even though they were few and far between.
Yeah, one of the things Waterhouse did well was Ricardo Thomas. Whenever he got it on that left-hand side, the cross always went in early. So Javon James, who has put himself about, doesn't have a goal to his name, but has been a big nuisance factor for the Cavalier defenders so far in this contest.
Yeah, and as you can see, the 20% going down the right hand side, that has really been Leslie, who has really been strong, the number 27 for Waterhouse, and he was the one who actually provided the cross for Fletcher for that second goal as well. Very strong on the ball, and it turns well to the outside, especially Leslie, the number 27. And as you said, Waterhouse for a lot of the game didn't really have much action in the 18-yard box, but when they got there, they made the most of it.
Yeah, it's good when you have multiple attacking players who can open up defenses for you. In that first game against Montego Bay United for Waterhouse, it was Cardell Benbow who was the danger man, who was the man prompting most of the attacking that they were doing. He's not been as influential this afternoon, but that's okay because Leslie and Fletcher have been doing very well, and the Javon James up front by himself has been making things very difficult for the young Cavalier defenders. King, number 8,
we
is
were expecting
in.
a change.
Yeah, Marlando Maxwell, the man we spoke to pre-game, has come in for Cavalier.
And it's Allen who is out, who we expected.
Yeah, as we
Courtney
said,
Allen.
we called it correctly, that Courtney Allen. His afternoon would end early. Perhaps it is if they were up to full complement, he still would have been changed at half time.
I would have taken him out. Certainly wasn't having a good game, was lost in it as well. There's Marlando Maxwell, formerly of Manchester High School in Mandeville.
I thought you were going to say another parish, but here you go. Manchester High School has produced several great Jamaicans, among them the outstanding Olympic silver medalist Sharon Simpson, and the Minister of Health and Wellness Chris Tufton, a proud Manchester old boy as well. Here's James, back to goal, King in his back, tried to get the back heel going for Benbow. Odette Hamilton says it's a Waterhouse throw despite the protestations of the Cavalier captain King. So we're into the 47th minute. Ricardo Thomas giving James a pep talk. He captained the team last week.
Should note as well that Ming is on a yellow card as well, so he'll have to be careful. You see him closely marking Benbow.
Yeah, good to point that out because Fletcher, it's a corner kick because Richard King's sliding tackle was perhaps the reason Jadine White didn't have a save to make. It went from back to front quickly for Waterhouse, and Leslie sliding through, and but for King's boot, we could have been talking about a third Waterhouse goal.
Well, good to see King looking to tackle with his feet instead of his hands pushing in the back, and that was a much stronger tackle, and that's probably why it's not 3-0.
Beadle whips this one in off the head of Leng. Benbow didn't catch that cleanly. Ricardo Thomas now can keep up the pressure for Waterhouse. He goes for a long shot, he slips as he does so, barely connects, and it dribbles wide. A feature of Cavaliers play in the first half was the slow build-up, which Chris didn't like after a point. When they were in charge of the game, that was fine. But then when Waterhouse took the lead and they were still, and then you could see that, well, it wasn't by design. The man in possession of the ball just didn't have any passing options, and so he just stood there with the ball, as we saw Topi did, looking very awkward at one point.
Yes, the transition certainly, well, that's much better.
Campbell. Thomas has to be careful because Ming is closing him down. Oh, Foster's kick wasn't the cleverest, but it finds its way to his captain Howell. Early into the space for Benbow. will have time when he gathers to pick an option. Does he dribble? Does he pass? Benbow will attack Topi. Benbow on the left foot. The cross comes in. Met by the forehead of King. It's back out. Thomas. Howell comes short, but ignored for the minute. Thomas goes for the curler. Was looking for the cross. Whatever it is, it didn't work.
If you notice, both goals that Waterhouse scored, the pass was along the carpet, which is what we said would have been to Waterhouse's advantage. They're not going to have much joy in the ear because they're very early astute, Cavalier. Tall players within the defense line. Topi, King, Ming, and Ling. All very tall. So along the carpet is where Waterhouse need to do their damage, and they have for their first 2 goals.
Well, it's funny you said it, because I was going to mention to you that Leslie's chance just now came from a ball played on the carpet as well that King blocked on the slide. So that floor pass again, opening up the Cavaliers' defense. So yes, you're right on that.
More susceptible along the ground.
Cockings being chewed out by Thomas. Amazing is what Thomas is saying, that you could do something so silly. And Cockings has the sheepish look, really giving the ball away. Now his captain gets stuck into him. Howell. Cockings won't. Well, he'll have a chance to atone quickly for that error, turning over possession very, very cheaply. Campbell can't keep his feet. The Waterhouse men saying they're through, that Hamilton disagrees. And Beadle has put in a good shift so far, Chris, the man wearing number 59 for Waterhouse.
Yes. His job made it easy a lot of the times, but yes.
Topi. Ming. High up in the Waterhouse half. Gets on the end of it. Can't find Webster though. Well, Webster wins possession for the moment. Elvis Wilson knocks it away, but Webster can't come in. No, he gives it away to James. James to Thomas. And running through is James, but it will go through to JD White. Just a little bit too long there. Maxwell under pressure, being closed down by the 2-goal man, Leslie. Well, the 2-goal man is Fletcher. Leslie there. All right. Kimani Campbell fouled, and Cavalier can start again. It's amazing. I've called these players a million times, Fletcher and Leslie. They've never confused me like this afternoon. I may need therapy after this game, Chris. King at the back. Still King. Finds Campbell. Atkins wants it short, ignored, and Campbell goes back to the frustration of Atkinson. Was flinging his arms and turning his back on the play momentarily, the Cavalier number 10. Now he gets possession. Forward to Webster, who was on his heels, and the Cockings shepherds it through to his goalkeeper, who may have been kicked. Would have been accidental. This is it. Cockings just shielding up. And so who kicked him? I'm wondering.
It certainly wasn't Webster.
No.
Let's see here.
And it wasn't his teammate either.
No.
Both men hurdled him. He was slapped. Well, I mean, just for balance. Webster's hand came down.
That's just a touch, Kemar.
Foster wanted to make a meal of it, but he only had water, didn't have any food to cook. So here they come, Cavalier. Discernibly, what do you see different from the Cavalier approach so far? I know it's early in the first half, but have they set themselves up in any different way in the second half? Beg your pardon.
I haven't seen much different, and that's part of the problem. That's why they haven't even looked likely to get back into this game yet. I don't have a problem with a slow tempo at the back, but then there needs to be an increase in transition in terms of the pace of the movement going forward.
We're losing out that duel with Campbell.
Still a little bit too static for me, especially when they're going forward. Again, you saw Topi about 5 minutes ago picking up a ball and forced to go over the top because there was just no movement. The Waterhouse defenders could have stand and mark.
Yep.
Nobody giving the diagonal runs, even if they're not getting the ball. No decoy runs.
Benbow flattened. Well, actually it was our 2-goal hero, who was flattened Fletcher by Leng's tackle. Thomas is alone on this near side. He instructs them to go back with the free kick and they obey him. Now goes to Wilson. Finds Thomas in space. Benbow offers him the run outside on his left. Oh, uncharacteristically bad touch by Leslie, but he comes back to Thomas now, to Wilson. Finds Denardo Thomas. Fletcher to Benbow. James gets there before Kyle Ming, and Ming handled the ball, did he? And that's why it's a free kick taken quickly. Leslie goes for goal and had Jadine White interested for a minute. A goal kick in the end.
Not a bad strike by Leslie at all. He's been one of the better players for Waterhouse so far. And always going over, but good attempt, good idea. And just going with the breeze.
Marcel Gale hasn't sat since the start of this game, has been on his feet for the 50+ minutes that we've seen action, driving his team on from the sidelines. Oh. So Topi's ball didn't enter the field of play, so he gets the chance to retake it. Murray calling him for it, ignored. It goes back to King. King being closed down by James. Benbow gets away from Ming, plays Leslie, and Leslie around it. White, he can't get around White. The White blocked it with the legs. A strong run again from Andre Leslie. And would be disappointed he couldn't find the finish. Meanwhile, Atkinson takes it on the chest. Oh, Foster, it went straight at him, and his hands were strong. End-to-end action here at this UWI JPL Captain Horsborough Centre of Excellence. Chances at either end, and the ball still in play. Beadle, hard and aggressive on Atkinson. The ball will break from Webster. Doesn't have any support though, and he collides with Wilson on the edge of the 18-yard box. It's a Cavalier free kick.
The touch was poor by Webster, but that's the kind of energy we want to see from Cavalier, especially from Atkinson. Great ball over the top, good take, good strike with the left boot. It's a fixture that he loves, Atkinson, former KC man, and scored twice last season against Waterhouse. This was the opportunity for Leslie. Leslie's been definitely one of the better players for Waterhouse. His energy is very good, but it was good goalkeeping as well by Jadine White, just to close him down and thwart the danger. And then Webster with a bad touch. Had he taken a better touch, he might have been in with an opportunity to beat Foster. But luckily for him, he won a free kick.
Yeah, I think we may have done, as we see it, this looks to be Elvis Wilson, who's getting some treatment for Waterhouse. He was the one involved in that challenge with Webster just now, from which the free kick resulted for Cavalier. Yeah, the chance that Leslie just got, King actually did very well. We need to credit him for that as well, Chris, because he engaged Leslie from early in the 18-yard box on the striker's run.
Inside,
yes. And helped to make Jadine White's life easy.
Pushed him wider.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Meanwhile, Atkinson lines up this free kick. 19 meters out. What can he do? Direct shot on target, pushed away by the goalkeeper at his near post. On target, needed a save, and Foster produced it, Kamara Foster, and has gone down injured.
Has always been good from the dead ball, Dwayne Atkinson. No surprise that he took it, no surprise that it's on target. It seemed like he created an injury for Foster as well. Just as improved his aggression, Atkinson, and so he's looked a lot more dangerous. Good strike to the near post. Comfortable save for Foster. I don't think that was ever going to beat him, but it was good to see it on target.
Yep. The Waterhouse players just having a mini conference midway their own half, led by their captain Howell. It involves Wilson, Thomas, Cockings and Benbow. And there it is.
Benbow the most vocal.
Well, they're having two conversations because Howell is talking to Wilson and then Benbow is having a private conversation with Cockings, and then Thomas now is venting his frustration at something. But good to see this. These Waterhouse boys keyed in and intending to see this all the way through.
Very experienced Benbow. He's played for quite a few Premier League teams in his career. Had a stint overseas as well at Penn FC in the USL.
Yeah.
There he is, Benbow. He's played for Portmore. Has had 2 stints at Waterhouse. Was there in 2017. Now he's returned. And also last season he was with Mount Pleasant. I think he spent 2 seasons.
2 seasons.
Mount Pleasant.
There were moments in his first Waterhouse stint where he would perform like the best player in the top flight, the Red Stripe Premier League as it was then.
2017-18. Scored 7 goals in that season too.
In tandem with Kamara Bushy-Beckford, they made Waterhouse box office on a Monday night, especially at their home stadium.
7 goals has been his best return
at
the top flight here in Jamaica. And was a member of the Jamaica under-21 team, I remember, back in 2014 as well.
Colin Anderson now sent to warm up by Rudolph Speed. Needs more up front, and he's going for the Excalibur man who runs so fast he can bore a hole in the wind, Colin Anderson. This afternoon they may be calling on him. Foster is rather fragile for a big man though, Chris. I've seen some moments of contact where he's gone down looking as if he's been poleaxed. He's now back on his feet after that lengthy bit of treatment.
One thing I can tell you is common, and you heard Chevon Stewart in the early interview speak about it, is the increased number of injuries on this turf, especially with the footwear. And we've seen a lot of goalkeepers have recurring muscle injuries. I'm sure it's because of the movement that the keepers have to make on a turf, which is not necessarily suitable for the studs that they're wearing. And we've seen a lot of injuries. Foster has gone down, White has gone down. In fact, last season White was down quite regularly. So I'm taking off for Foster a bit here.
I'm listening to your narrative, my friend. I'm listening to the narrative and I'm not interrupting you.
But
here's Thomas, short to Benbow. Pirouette doesn't get him away from Ming though. Atkinson. The attention of Howell too much for him. He loses possession. Denardo Thomas now looks at passing options in front of him. Fletcher's touch bad for once, and Atkinson has space now. Only Webster to his right though. Atkinson, a swarm of blue shirts attend to him, and Cockings does well this time. Howell can restart the attack for the boys in blue and white. Comes far side to Thomas. James, short. What do you make of James's performance so far in this game, number 11 for Waterhouse?
I think he's run well. I think he hasn't scored, but he's kept the defense line busy of Cavalier. I think that's important as well. That's what Cavalier's not doing. He's willing to make those diagonal runs even if he's not getting the ball. He's willing to come short, collect and then move again. Foster, there may be an issue of a bleeding arm because the referee stopped the game and the medics ran on immediately. So they may need to apply a tourniquet. He's supporting your point. He's down again. I'm telling you, I saw him get slapped on the leg by Webster and he was rolling around asking for treatments, which is why I made the point about the fragility of this man built like a mini cruiserweight boxer. I don't think he felt much pain. I think he was looking for an acting award. Alright, so he gets some running repairs, a bit of paper tape. It's effective. So it's a good athlete generally, Foster. As I said, played a bit of cricket in his time, lifted titles actually when he was at Innswood. A wicket-keeper batsman in his time, Foster, and not a bad one either. So we resume. Leslie comes short and finds Beadle back to Cockings. I was asking you to comment on James, and you were saying he's been running hard up front for Waterhouse all game. Yes, he has, and I think he's been making the runs that Cavalier haven't, and that's part of the reason why they are so static. He's willing to run even if he doesn't get the ball, James, and that's important as a forward player, just to use yourself as a decoy, because what you do is carry defenders and pull them out of position, so it allows your teammates to find space. Look at him working here tirelessly. King that's interchanging, good a play at the back from Cavalier to this point. Leslie, a big it upon Ling into the midfield he turns it over though to Howell.
Out to the foot pass to Benbo, exchanging nice 1-2 passes here. And Denardo Thomas goes from distance, and Benbo looks at him as if, man, are you a madman? I'm in space on the edge of the box. Look at that nice interchange of passes, and you chose to do that.
Hammering the perimeter fence at the back.
Cavalier look to want to play out the back, but the Waterhouse boys are set to press them high this time. So White may have to abandon that tactic and go long.
Another example of Waterhouse adjusting their tactics based on the game situation. So they realize that Cavalier are bouncing it out too easily, so they have pressed and closed them down. Cavalier have not adjusted their style throughout this 64 minutes so far, and that's probably why they're still behind.
Fletcher onto this one now. Looks for the cross comes in at the back post. Ooh, that's a fantastic save by Jadine White. It was within his orbit, yes, but Denardo Thomas's header was true, it was crisp. But with the left hand, Jadine White helps it over his bar. Good play from Waterhouse once again, and the man in the pink jersey helping his team to keep the deficit at 2-0.
Goal scorer turning provider. Excellent ball put in by Fletcher to find Thomas. Good movement, good use of the width of the field from Waterhouse. And yeah, good save by Jadine White, one he would have expected to make. But yeah, like the work by Fletcher. That ball put in was mouth-watering.
Thomas with a header just now, but he's on corner kick duties for this one now. 4 to aim for in the box. He goes short to Benbo outside. Benbo curls it forward. Another save by White with the feet. And it was Fletcher whose shot was turned away. That could have been the hat-trick. Actually, yeah.
Looks like Leslie.
Yeah, it was Leslie. The hairstyle and the angle is fooling
yes,
right here.
Yes.
Gonna send a message to the Waterhouse
Lackluster defending again.
Someone needs to either dye their hair or take a haircut. Thomas. To Thomas. To Beadle. Ooh, fancy ball control. You almost lost it. Nice move by Fletcher though. And Leng, bit rough in clearing his lines, and Fletcher takes exception to the challenge, and now we have a bit of hargy-bargy over there in the 18-yard box, and Fletcher now complaining to Odette Hamilton, who shows him the yellow card because he instigated the whole fracas with his posture. Fletcher. Yeah,
silly. You're 2 goals up, you scored them. Why do you need to get in the middle of that? Waterhouse are bossing the game easily, controlling it. Why get yourself in trouble and run the risk of being sent off?
So this is what happened. So he took exception to Leng's challenge, and Leng just responded with words, and look at Fletcher now. He was banged into by Campbell, and he was saying to the referee, look, he barged into me. She hooked him for starting it all. Yeah, he was substituted in the opening game moments after scoring for the penalty spot against Montego Bay United. He was withdrawn, and his number looks to be up here once again. Well, James is coming out. I see a number 9 up on the board for Waterhouse.
I'm surprised they're taking off Fletcher because he's been playing well. I'm not sure if the incident, they just want to calm things down. But 2 goals, and that last opportunity that was created was Fletcher as well.
Yeah, this is the first goal.
Yeah. Yeah, well taken by Fletcher. And then Leslie, great work on the right flank, good strength, poor defending by King as far as I'm concerned, and a clinical finish by Fletcher to make it 2-0. And that came after 46 minutes, well, 45 minutes plus 1 extra time in the first half. That ball is lost.
Devroy Gray came off the bench to score in the first game, and he's also gotten a run out. So Moulton and Gray in, and I'd have loved to have seen
Fletcher and James out.
Yeah, Fletcher and James out. I'd have loved to see Andre Fletcher get his hat-trick, but my gosh, the Waterhouse bench have taken me out of my misery with the Fletcher-Leslie big support game. There is number 28, Devroy Gray. And
a winning goal in last week's encounter.
Yes, the second goal proved to be the winning goal. Odette Hamilton and Rudolph Speed having an argument. Speed wants to know why a particular incident wasn't a red card, because of course he wants the scales balanced, his team down to 10 men.
That was never a red card.
And Odette Hamilton explaining to him that that was never a red card, just like you said, Chris.
Yeah. In fact, it was actually Campbell who was a bit cynical. Campbell realized that Fletcher was hot-tempered, bounced into his shoulder just to aggravate him further, and then Fletcher reacted.
But that was what Fletcher was calling Odette Hamilton's attention to. Yes. He was saying, look, I was bumped by, why is this man barging me, you're not doing anything about it. But then she booked him for starting the argument.
And I agree with her for that, because nothing would have transpired had it not been Fletcher provoking Ling and company. So I certainly agree with Odette Hamilton for showing the yellow card, just to say, look, this is not necessary, don't get into this. Alright, you got a bump, you deserve it.
Yeah. Well, alright, we were telling you that Waterhouse were leading Cavalier 2-0, and if you didn't believe, that graphic proved it. So this is the incident once again. Ling comes back to rob Fletcher of the chance to make the cross, and then
he does well.
He goes
Ling,
lippy, gesturing.
And he's walking away, and then look at Campbell. Campbell is going to walk in. Campbell gives him a little bounce.
But then, I just saw something else. The replays are good. Fletcher slapped Campbell on the back just to ease him off. And Odette Hamilton may have just seen that and said, you know, LeBron James it was who said, it's not the man in the class who causes the class to, well, it's not the man who struck the first blow who gets seen by the teachers, the man who reacted to the blow and strikes a blow in retaliation. Some of that involved in that. Gray, can he keep it in? No, he can't. Shoved away by Topi in the end. So we're into the 71st minute. The screen doesn't say it. Well, it does, because there's a red beside the Cavalier name that indicates that one red card that happened in the first half. Brian English sent to think about his anger management issues early by Odette Hamilton, laying out of defense early. Wilson being told to allow it to run into touch by his centre half partner Cockings. Thomas to Benbow. Damages the SportsMax camera near side.
Or the microphone.
Webster.
I wonder if the operator was damaged as well.
Nah, he was born damaged. Thomas forward to Gray.
I set you up nicely for that one.
Gray back. Ooh, sliding in is Webster. Thomas had to get his foot out there fast. But a very uphill task for Cavalier, you'd feel, to get back into this game. We're in the 73rd minute, down to 10 men. Down 2 goals.
I'm wondering what Rudolph Speed's plan is. So he's down by 2-0. Is it damage control, or is he going to still try and get back into this one? Because if he is, I haven't really seen him make any attacking changes thus far.
As if on cue, Colin Anderson is getting his boots ready, so he looks as if he's going to enter the fray anytime now. Webster forward to Atkinson. Lovely first touch by Atkinson, lovely into his stride. Campbell sent wide though by Wilson, and Wilson gets across, gives away a corner, but excellent defending.
Yes. Not so sure I would have given Campbell. I would have allowed Campbell to go as a decoy and look to cut in, because Atkinson is very good in and around that 20-25 yard range on the right foot.
Yeah.
Maybe he needed to be a little selfish there.
Whenever I see him, his initial control of the ball, especially when he's in motion, reminds me so much of Chevon Marsh. Yeah, the same squat player, the same touch on the ball. Yeah, anyway, here he is on corner kick duties. Goes high, looking for Campbell. The ball is met by Moulton though. Kyle Ming runs back. He'll take this throw. Maxwell to King.
And I'm hoping the change will be a sacrifice of maybe one of the midfielders or so. or maybe up for a back three, take off one of the wing backs, and yeah, instead of maybe removing one of the forward players. I wouldn't want to see a straight swap. I would like to see some bravery by Rudolph Speed.
Yep. Benbow into the path, bending it in the path of Gray. Gray's first touch is good. Thomas back to Benbow.
Well, it must be said, this man Webster is not been in the second half much at all.
No.
Probably a bit tired too. So
meanwhile, Chevron Stewart is getting ready to come in for Waterhouse, as if there wasn't enough quality in the Waterhouse midfield. The ex-St. George's man, magical player in his schoolboy days, is getting ready to make them even more dangerous. Odette Hamilton sees the change, and he's going to come in for number 27, Chris.
Leslie
Yes.
has played very well.
So the two Andres are gone.
Yeah.
My afternoon will only get better.
In fact, the three frontline players are gone. James is out as well.
Yeah, but James wasn't giving me trouble.
No, but great work by the three front men for Waterhouse.
Yes.
And Leslie has done very well. Provider for the second goal.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say to you that the second goal that Fletcher scored, it was Leslie's pass inside to James. James took a touch and then laid it off for Fletcher, who was arriving late, and obviously had given him a shout.
Yeah.
Yep. Remember when King went and Leslie went in front of King, knocked that ball, James collected and then laid it off for Fletcher, and that was 2-0. So excellent teamwork. The three front men doing very well.
Nicknamed Scarrow, and has had that name from very young in his high school days. Chevron Stewart wearing the number 10. We're number 55 last season.
Just a point, Chris. Colin Anderson has come on. Leslie, beg your pardon, Dwayne Atkinson has gone off. Webster has also gone as well, and Chanel Thomas is coming in.
So 2 attacking changes. Good to see.
So you asked for positivity?
Yes.
That's positivity for you?
Yes. And we did say that Webster was looking a bit tired, so he's off. Chanel Thomas, excellent player for Jamaica College in his schoolboy days as well. He was a main frontman, very talented, good pass of the ball. Hasn't been as clinical as I would like to see him in the Premier League, but certainly has that quality about him. Touch player, good in the air, good on the ground. The Cavalier number 17, and then Colin Anderson. What raw pace!
Yes, sir. Frightening power from the young man.
Maybe that ball over the top is now on with him out there.
Yep. Ling works around Stewart. Murray out to Campbell, back to Ling. King now. Rudolph Speed has brought on the Campbell with good control by Campbell. Ball inside, and Thomas has time to effect the clearance. Colin Anderson was sliding away there. The ball played just behind him.
I thought Chanel and Anderson were running in the same line, which was the problem. There was no stagger, and that's why that ball went behind both of them. One should have just dropped off just a little.
Right on.
One ball killed both.
Right on.
Yeah. So a little bit of miscommunication there. Not the best running by both those forwards. Here's a ball over the top as we expected. Nice ball. Lovely take by Campbell. But let's look here. Both of them in the same line.
Campbell again. And he dribbled that into touch. So the Cavalry sent for by Rudolph Speed as he intent is clear. He's going down fighting. He's not shutting up shop at 2-0 with 10 men. He's going to see what he can pinch from this game. A frustrating afternoon for the Cavalier technical director, because really and truly, if there was one team to be 2-0 up at half time, it ought to have been his, given the quality chances they created, but missed. King dribbling out of defense and robbed by Stewart, and the ball flicked around the corner, turned over. Thomas.
Again, just losing the ball too easy, Cavalier. Nick O'Shea Murray guilty on that occasion. King over dribbling before.
Moulton to Gray. Back to Moulton. Now Beadle. All the way back to Cockings. Waterhouse can take their time. In front, and they have a man extra. Cockings now. Being closed down by Anderson. So finds Benbow up front. Thomas now. Time and space in midfield to find Benbow. Now Thomas. Inside to Stewart. Nice flick to Thomas. Into the path of Stewart. Oh, but it was between Stewart and Gray, who were leaving it for each other, it seemed. And King shepherds it out into touch.
Lovely skill by Chevron Stewart there. That's just what he can do. One of the most exciting number 10s to come through schoolboy football. Did say it in his interview that he's not back up to peak fitness yet.
Yeah.
George, but he's working his way there. There is he. Waterhouse number 10 went away to Division 1 college in Cincinnati. Chevron Stewart.
State of Ohio.
Yeah.
50-50 the possession stats now, but Cavalier really wanted to be 50-50 on the score sheet. This is Benbow in some space. Maxwell comes across to challenge. Benbow looking for the back post. There wasn't a blue shirt there. This is Stewart out. Gray. And a kick and miss by Moulton. Gray and Moulton getting in each other's way. Anyway, Beadle comes forward and exchange passes with his captain. Out wide. Ball comes in looking for the back post. And it was too long.
The aerial ball is just not going to work. But too many touches inside the box, I think, from Waterhouse perspective a while ago, and that's why it was closed down. Good ball in the box. Well, I would have liked to have seen it on the carpet, but just here, yeah, just need a one-time shot actually.
Yeah, but Moulton
and Gray.
Yeah, Moulton and Gray got in each other's way.
Yeah. That pass from Stewart, Gray just needed to hit it one time with the left foot. I think that's why Stewart weighted it so well. The touch just closed down the space immediately. Nicochet Murray, I think, down.
Looks like it. Maybe a dead leg or a cramp. If it's a dead leg, he's done for the day. If it's a cramp, he can get over it. So both goalkeepers, well, the Waterhouse goalkeeper, he's mostly been mentioned for the fact that he's been getting treatment for injuries. On this occasion though, he had to pull off a good save from Dwayne Atkinson, who was aiming for his head, and Foster's hands came up to protect his head. Then he saved again from Atkinson. Sharp, low down to his right to keep that free kick out. Needed treatment after that save, Kamara Foster. And then Jadine White, oh, point blank range, and out of Thomas's header. And then you'll see Leslie coming through, trying to claim his first off the game, but Jadine White keeping him out with his feet. Back to live action. '82nd minute. I hear that the Waterhouse executives were making fun of the Cavalier executives at halftime because they were saying, well, the roles are reversed. In the final last year, we were 1-0 down and a man short. Today, we're a man up and a goal up. Well, at halftime, they were 1 up. So, there you go. Saved myself there. This is Howell. Forward to Thomas. Denardo Thomas now. Moulton goes wide to Beadle. Back to Thomas. Waterhouse have really been the dominant team this afternoon. They've been impressive, we can say.
And when you look at overall head-to-head statistics, they've been ahead as well.
Thomas runs into space but can't find him. Is Ming's pass. And weaving run goes, on a weaving run went Benbow. Stewart now. Thomas down the right side, the left side, trying to find the cross on the right side. Beadle was there, but Beadle can't keep it in. It's a goal kick. Thomas's pass was misdirected, although the effort acknowledged by Deveroy Gray, who was near enough to the back post to be interested in that one.
They've missed 15 times, George, in Jamaica's top flight. Cavalier have won 4, Waterhouse have won 6, and there have been 5 draws. So
it's been tight.
It's been tight, but Waterhouse has the edge for sure, and this will be, well, if it continues this way, victory number 7.
Stewart has some time, finds Benbow. Back to Stewart, outside without even looking, knew that Ricardo Thomas was giving him the overlapping option. Sells him short though, Thomas. Stewart battling, but Maxwell under pressure now from Stewart. Penned in, uses Ming. Good closing down by the Waterhouse forwards. Maxwell under pressure, goes back to his goalkeeper. The big boot by Jadine White, does it reach half line? Colin Anderson's first touch is good. Trying to find Chanel Thomas, but Finds its way upfield to Benbow. Howell now for Waterhouse. Back to Thomas. Back to Howell. Cavaliers frontmen have backed off, allowing Waterhouse to go back comfortably. Cockings wide to Beadle. Not quite playing with the handbrake up, Waterhouse, but very, very comfortable to a man on the ball in this game. Stewart told that he can turn. He didn't need to. Nice sequence. This is Moulton. From distance, he goes low. And that will never trouble a goalkeeper of JD Noy's caliber. As we see Stephen Williams preparing to come in for Waterhouse. Another man in the midfield who can add some punch.
Yeah. A bit rushed by Moulton. I actually enjoyed that build up by Waterhouse. Calm and composed, maintaining possession.
Ming. Atkinson running. So to Chanel Thomas. Pays it to Atkinson. Atkinson forward. Ming continues his run, but look at Cockings. Beg your pardon, Anderson. Well, Kyle Ming and Anderson. Colin Anderson was the man who was playing that path into Ming's path. Ming had continued his run after exchanging passes with the winger. This is Ming playing the pass and continues his run, pointing into the space that he wanted it. But Cockings was over there to defend competently.
Yeah. Good attempt by Anderson. Well defended by Waterhouse.
2 changes set to be made. Meanwhile, Campbell has been busy for Cavalier. Comes to this near side for this corner kick. Curling to the far post. Foster goes up and will need treatment.
He's down again. Did well though with the punch, Foster. And I must say it's been a very flat performance from Cavalier, especially after they conceded the first goal. Very flat. Disappointing considering they're defending champions. Here is that moment again with Foster. He was brave initially, Foster, getting in the thick of things to thump away. Here he is getting right up there with the tall players of Cavalier, Topi especially. I don't think Topi did much wrong though. Didn't look to make himself any bigger, Topi, just challenge for the ball.
Stephen Williams comes in to replace Cardell Benbow, and then number 13, Ricardo Thomas, being given an early afternoon. Not used to seeing him substituted, Ricardo Thomas.
And number 16, Kimani Campbell.
And Kimani Campbell coming on to replace him. Thomas taking his own sweet time to leave the field. Foster is back up. I think he'll live, Chris. Goes back down again. So there's young Kimani Campbell coming in to replace Ricardo Thomas.
Substitutions took place in the 86th minute.
Back to live action we are. Cockings instructed to send this one long. He obliges, looking to hit Devroy Gray. 2 Cavalier players there blocking him. King can only play it into touch. Waterhouse have a throw high inside the Cavalier half. Moulton, slow cross, blocked by King. Campbell. Colin Anderson. Thomas's first touch is good. Nice touch to get away from 2 challenges. Outside back to Anderson. Needs support though. Uses Campbell. Campbell go all the way back to Murray. All the way back to Leng. You think Cavalier were the ones leading 2-0 and have a man up.
Exactly. Why is it slowed down and then given away yet again?
Stephen Williams now. This one popped wide for the replacement left back. Campbell. Thomas. Outside to Stephen Williams. Packs a hard shot with that right foot. Back to the youngster Campbell, to his captain Howell. Waterhouse will just look to play out the rest of this game. For a long time they've had that foot on Cavalier's throat. And they know that the team in black and white this afternoon not strong enough to squirm from beneath that foot.
Cavalier have been flat. Not showing great resurgence at all, especially after conceding.
Nice sequence of passes. Stephen Williams! Yeah, told you. Packs a powerful shot. I did say right foot with both feet. He can kick them.
Good power coming out of the left foot.
Yep. Not a high backlift for him.
Doesn't need it. Yeah, good pace behind it. Always going over though, but a lot of power.
Leng. Thomas is flicking to the path of Campbell, but it's misdirected. Finds its way to Cocking. Who goes to Beadle. Howell. Back to Beadle. Beadle can go all the way back. Howell. Thomas. Skips away from Chanel Thomas, namesake. Good turn by Stewart. Just to keep possession there. Everything he does, Chevron Stewart suggests ball general.
Yes.
And I really hope to see the moment in the season when he's a regular part of this Waterhouse team. I think he makes them stronger. Here's Stephen Williams back to... Ball comes out to the young Campbell.
Well, he has that quality touch and pass in and around the 18-yard area.
Devroy Gray now with Topi for company. Back to Campbell, wrong-footed. By the misdirection, does well to keep it in. The referee says no. The assistant on this near side didn't see anything wrong. The referee determining that the ball had crossed the line.
Oh, she said handball.
Oh, when he slipped, yes.
Okay.
Yes, and she's correct.
Because it certainly didn't cross the line. So and there was no signal from her assistant.
Colin
Mosley there.
Yeah. And Elvis Wilson went high and crashed into the Cavaliers man.
Waterhouse must be happy and Marcel Gill with their performance. I mean, yes, not the first 10 minutes where they conceded so much chances, but since then they have been excellent. They've controlled the game slowly but surely.
Nakashi Murray leaves the field for Cavalier.
Have taken care of possession. They've taken their chances as well, and they've created some others which they probably should have scored.
Yep, and Jerome McCleary comes in to replace him. Yeah, Cavalier will just have to write off this afternoon. Not their day at all. No. And we could tell because the way those two chances were missed didn't suggest a team that was really at the races.
And even though they won the first game, they missed a lot of chances in that game as well, which is what David Layla spoke about.
Campbell pumps this forward. The white shirted players go up, and the ball still loose in the box. Can't find its way in the net though. And a goal kick in the end.
Couldn't even see the ball.
Yeah, I almost said white heads. The white shirts went up, so this is what happened. Good save by Foster. Yes. Topi sent it goalwards.
It was a double save by Foster.
Yeah, Leng was trying to flick it.
Yes. I think, Topi got in the mix here. Then there was a back heel by Leng, and who was coming in at the far post?
Well, I saw three chances.
I think that's Anderson.
Topi's header. Anderson got the second bite, then Leng the third time.
Look at Anderson coming in here, just trying to get in that boot. That was Anderson at the post. Well done by Foster. Two good saves there. He's been good, Foster. He's been on the turf quite a bit.
I was
for one reason or the other.
I was going to say to you, surprised Foster didn't go down there, but he did his job.
He went down to make the save though.
He did his job, the Waterhouse goalkeeper. We've been giving him stick, but he's done what he's been called upon to do with competence.
They're two-time champions, Waterhouse. They haven't won this competition since 2005-2006.
I tell you what,
their other title came back in 97-98.
I remember that 97-98 one like it was yesterday.
Was Jeffrey Maxwell was the head coach? Yes.
A team of some wonderful players. The best crosser I've ever seen in Premier League football played for them. Good turn by Devroy Gray to get rid of Topi for the minute. Can he get the cross in? He runs out of real estate. and crashed into the sponsors board.
Collide with Topi at all.
Yeah.
Like a giant.
Topi sent him to have a whopper. Yeah, I was telling you that the best crosser I've seen in Premier League football history in Jamaica would have to be Davian Powell, who played on that Waterhouse team.
Yes.
97-98.
Surprised that Waterhouse have won more titles. They have actually been finalists 4 times.
And then the midfield general, of course, Hugh Bingy Blair.
Yes.
You know, players that they say of them, Chris, that their brains are big. Their brain is big, their head is big, and you extend their arms to show the size of the brain. Bingy Blair had a huge footballing brain.
Well, you know, he won the title in 97-98, and then he was part of the coaching staff in 2005 and 6. He was the assistant coach initially, then he took over the reins.
Yep.
Bingy Blair. Nice footballer.
So 2 goals for Andre Fletcher. Has to be the man of the match this afternoon. In a game where chances have not been taken, especially by the boys in white and black.
And he did create a couple that weren't taken as well.
Fletcher showed them how to finish.
Yeah.
Has to be the man of the match. Gray fouled by Topi.
There should be a mention for Leslie, I think, as well, who played really well. Of course, not the man of the match, but just to say that he had a very good game in number 27.
And I'll tell you that Javon James also played very well. The Waterhouse front 3, I don't think Marcel Gale could have asked for anything more from them. He got 2 goals from one, he got an assist from the other 2.
Yeah.
He really can't complain with their contribution. Into the 96th minute. We're just going through the motions in this fixture, because Waterhouse did the job a long time ago, and Cavalier created 2 very good chances, but in total they just didn't play this afternoon. They just didn't play, weren't at the races. Howell winds up that effort. He should be made to go and retrieve the ball himself in those bushes behind the goal.
He might not return this evening.
There you go. The captain enjoying himself. Good game by him in that midfield. Not a lot of fuss, and perhaps the Waterhouse sentiment will be, Chris, that they thought it would be more difficult against the Cavalier team, that the quality isn't in doubt, but this evening just not producing it. Laying under pressure from Moulton, and Devroy Gray gets there before JD White, who hauls him down, and I don't know what JD White is protesting. He literally grabbed Devroy Gray and flung him to the floor.
It's a penalty, for sure. As we saw it, we were both on the same page. And you don't usually see JD White so reckless. He's actually pretty skillful at his handwork.
I like the era where Stephen Williams put this ball in, because that's what caused the pressure. Look at this. Slap to the face.
He did play the ball initially, but then there was a follow through. Look at the arm here. He gets to the ball here to push it around Gray, but
he catches it.
He catches it.
That has to be a foul.
It probably looked worse in real time.
Yeah. And we're not saying Jaden White is a bad player, dirty player, because he isn't. He was just trying to clear his lines and got that one wrong.
Play the ball first. There was a follow through that did catch Gray. Gray obviously made the most of it as well.
But come on, Chris.
But there was a follow through with the arm.
If you get a gloved a slap with a gloved hand in your face like that from a big man like Jaden White, who's not trying to finesse the ball away, he's trying to slap the ball away, you're gonna go down. So there was no malice in it whatsoever.
But the follow through.
The follow through. And
I think that's an acceptable call for sure from Odette Hamilton.
For sure. I think JD White belatedly acknowledged the referee's reason for giving.
I'm not so sure about that.
He's still demonstrating.
He's quite upset. Well, he can save it. That's what he can try and do.
He can save it. Anyway, Chevon Stewart against JD White, former schoolboy stars, facing off in this Jamaica Premier League. Stewart to put icing on a very richly textured cake for Waterhouse. Stewart against White, and Stewart triumphs. That's 3-0. Stewart off the bench, gets his first of the season. Didn't start the first game, got some playing time. Didn't start today, introduced in the second half, and he makes his presence well and truly felt. The record books will show that Chevon Stewart scored in the 99th minute of this JPL game to give his team a 3-0 lead and the win. What's happening now? Odette Hamilton is going to her back pocket, is she?
She's giving Topi a red card, I think.
Wow. Was for something he said, may have been. May have been for something he said.
Wow. Things have gotten out of hand.
Yeah.
Kyle Mini is trying to control them. And Ling needs to be careful as well. He's clapping the referee. And he needs to make sure that he doesn't pick up a card. But Topi is off.
Yep. Colin Anderson applauding the referee. I've seen players sent off for that. Mingnos telling him to cool it. The sarcastic applause from Colin Anderson. And he's still doing it. But Hamilton has walked away from the scene of the crime. But Jamoy Topi gets a red card for what, Chris? Chevron Stewart scores a penalty. The players are turning to walk back to the centre circle, and their big centre half gets a red card, a straight red card. Wow.
90+9 and 4.
I must say I didn't see exactly what happened or didn't hear what was said, but
this is the incident.
Yeah.
So Odette Hamilton is writing in her book as we get the whistle for full time. Topi walks towards her, and he's saying something. He said something to her. He said something to her at this point, and she showed him the red card. So it's for dissent.
So there we see Andre Fletcher, 2-goal man. He certainly is a man of the match. 3 goals on the day for Waterhouse, and an emphatic victory in the end over defending champions Cavalier, and Chevron Stewart scoring the 3rd for them from the penalty spot. And an important 3 points for Waterhouse. They are 2 from 2 on the season, and 6 points. They are now joint top of the Premier League table with Mount Pleasant on 6 points, and a disappointing performance from Cavalier Football Club. Certainly a flat performance, especially after the first 10 minutes, and that was disappointing to see. And then when they went a goal down, that was basically all she wrote. Let's have a look at the highlights. It was Cavalier on the front foot initially. Dwayne Atkinson, excellent down the line. Good skill, good pace. And Courtney Allen couldn't find the back of the net. What a chance that was. And then look at this for a second chance. It falls to Leng all alone. The goal at his mercy, and hitting the crossbar, mistimed it badly. And then Waterhouse with their first goal. Andre Fletcher, not the best defending from Cavalier, it must be said. Weak challenge by Leng. King just waltzing around, not aware enough. Richard King, the number 4. And Fletcher making the most of it. Composed finish between the legs of Jadine White. 1-0 after 17 minutes. And that was certainly against the run of play. And it just fell apart for Cavalier after this. Look at this. Disgraceful challenge by Brian English, and a straight red card from Odette Hamilton. Just swinging the arm. And there's no place for that in the game. And rightfully so, a straight red for the midfielder of Cavalier. Reduced to 10 men, down a goal, and it was about to get worse. Leslie down the flank, again poor defending by King. Good reaction by Leslie, and what a finish by Fletcher. Composed to the far triangle. Yeah, lovely finish. 2 on the day for him, 3 on the season for Andre Fletcher. Jadine White, no chance, and he's wondering what kind of defending was happening in his box. Cavalier, they created a couple chances. Dwayne Atkinson was a highlight for them in spurts. 2 chances, first with the left foot, then with the right from the dead ball, in which he's so talented. Couldn't get past Foster, who had a good day between the sticks. Jadine White with an excellent save. Point blank range that was. And then another save with a boot. That was from Leslie before he came off. And one of the few chances in the second half for Cavalier. A real bundle in the box. Kemar Foster did well. It was a double save. Here was a chance from Topi. Leng with the back heel. And Foster said, no, no, no. I'm not allowing anything between my sticks today. Then Leng, mistimed clearance. And Jadine White across the face of Gray. Odette Hamilton pointed to the spot, rightfully so. And Chevron Stewart came on as a substitute. Added time. The pace beating White to his left, and 3-0 for Waterhouse. And what a performance this is for last year's finalist. Siobhan Stewart, a kiss to the camera. After 90 minutes, Waterhouse 3, Cavalier 0. And then we see Topi there, right at the end of the game. A ridiculous comment, obviously, to Odette Hamilton. We couldn't really pick up what he said, but obviously dissent and a straight red card for him as well. So 2 players will be out for Cavalier, and not the way you would have wanted to end the game. Full-time stats, 3-0 to Waterhouse, 19 shots, 5 on target for them, 9 on target from 14 attempts for Cavalier, but they couldn't make any count. Some 16 fouls, 1 yellow card each, and 2 red cards for Cavalier, English and Topi, and 6 corners. They just couldn't get it going, Cavalier, on the attacking end. And Waterhouse with majority of the possession, 59% possession, and Waterhouse after 90 minutes win by 3-0. Let's hear from George. He's with our man of the match, Andre Fletcher.
Thank you very much, Chris. Andre, 2 goals for you this afternoon. It looked like you were enjoying yourself out there. Talk to me about the game.
First and foremost, I have to give God thanks to be the man of the match. I've been putting a whole lot of work, so a game like this for me today was expected from me.
Yeah, and you have 3 goals on the season so far. Much more to come?
Much more to come, definitely.
All right, congratulations, Andre.
All right, thank you very much.
Good, Andre Fletcher. There are 2 goals on the afternoon. He has 3 for the season, joint leading scorer with Warner Brown, the Tivoli Gardens striker. And it's good to see the young strikers up and running early in the campaign. David Layla walks into the shot with me. David, you're going to have better days than today. Really bad day. 2 glorious chances missed early, and the team just didn't pick up from there. And the 2 yellow and the 2 red cards to boot.
Yeah, well, I think the team also went to got a look at the discipline, so I guess you see the result.
Yeah, and how do you pick them up from here?
Well, we just have to go back to the drawing board, as they always say, but nevertheless, we'll come better next time.
Yeah, and the red card to Topi at the end must have been especially grieving for you, given that the game was almost done, but he got himself sent off.
Yeah, it's part of the nature of the game, you know. We have referee and we have player, and so we have to look at what happened, the incidents, and the referee have to do what they have to do, and player have to do what they have to do. We don't know what, I really don't know what took place, but at the end of the day, I think it was a senseless red card, whichever way it turned out.
Thank you very much, David. All the best.
All right.
David Layla there, the assistant coach at the Cavalier team. Marcel Fuzzygale walks in now. Marcel, 3-0, job well done, and for large parts of this game, your team was comfortable.
To God be the glory. All things as great as him. Today we stuck to the game plan, and I think, as I said earlier on in the interview, we work all week in training this week, working on what he say took place out there today. So it's a testimony of what happened in training this week. Yeah, we have no time, but I have to ask you quickly, the comment from you on the 2-hole man, Andre Fletcher's performance. Wonderful. I mean, he's working hard in training, so you know today he come deliver, and that was good. All right, thank you very much. Marcel Gale there. Back to you, Chris.
So you've heard from the coaches. That's it for match 1 here at the Horace Burrell, Captain Horace Burrell Centre of Excellence at the UEMONA campus. 3-0 to Waterhouse after 90 minutes over defending champions Cavalier.